Hey everybody, Alex Kazor, SteelersDepot.com back for another quick analysis of tomorrow's game against the Denver Broncos. I'll make this video a lot shorter than the week one preview against the Giants. Steelers coming to this game 1-0. Broncos are 0-1 after losing on Monday night against the Tennessee Titans. Broncos are led by second-year quarterback Drew Lock, who I thought overall played well in Monday night's game against the Tennessee Titans. And the thing to know about Lock and the Broncos offense is that they're going to get him on the move. A lot of nakeds, a lot of bootlegs. You're going to look for stuff in the flat, maybe some second-level throws with some crossers coming behind or some corner routes. And so they'll try to counter the Steelers' aggressive downhill defense by changing the pocket, getting him out in space, and Lock is a threat to run. Not to a Lamar Jackson level of mobility, but if you do give Locke the space, similar to Daniel Jones of the Giants last week, he will make you pay. So be careful of that. In the run game, the Broncos will be without running back Philip Lindsay. They'll be led by Melvin Gordon, the former Charger, who was kind of balled up early against the Titans last week and then had a couple of decent runs late. They are not the old school Shanahan Gibbs outside zone, wide zone exclusive type of team, but they still run a good mix of zone inside and outside, and they run some power and gap schemes as well, kind of incorporating that into their offense. And of course, they have Mike Munchak as their offensive line coach, who Steelers know very well, and he knows the Steelers very well. And so you got to be careful with your verbiage and calling things out because every communication will be heard without fans in the stands at Heinz Field on Sunday. So that's something to be aware of. In the past game, we'll have to watch on Cortland Sutton's status, their number one receiver. He missed last week with a shoulder injury. He is very questionable, apparently a game time decision as of this recording right now. If he cannot go, their top two targets will be tight end Noah Fant, who had a touchdown, had a nice game in the opener, and then Jerry Judy, the rookie receiver, their first round pick, who I think is going to be a player to watch for sure in the slot. Mike Hilton versus Judy is going to be, I think, the matchup to circle here. How Hilton defends Judy. He's a great route runner. Judy is, and he gets space, and he's a really kind of freaky, athletic type of dude. So I think Hilton versus Judy's the matchup to watch. Also, KJ Hamler, the rookie out of Penn State, with sub 4.3 speed. He was not active in the week one game against Tennessee, but he will play against the Steelers on Sunday. And so watch out for him getting vertical. Circle back to the Broncos offensive line. It is not a strength of this team. They have some injuries there as well. Some rookies, a center, Lloyd Cushenberry at LSU, I did like, but still a rookie center in his second career game. So hopefully the Steelers pass rush can do similar to what they did against the Giants last week of getting consistent pressure. We'll see if Butler is as aggressive as he was against the Giants, where he blitzed basically 50% of the time. They may scale that back a little bit, but I do think that TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, especially Hayward to it along the interior can succeed, especially if they get on the rookie Cushenberry. Defensively for Denver, it's not a flashy front seven, but it's a very just well coached fundamental front seven where they play good team run defense. They're downhill, they flow well to the ball, their run fits and are sound and their assignment sound. They stay on their feet and they got a good defensive line with Jerome Casey, who they stole from the Titans for a seventh round pick in the offseason. Shelby Harris, Mike Purcell are all, I think, a really solid front three in the linebacking core. Josie Jewell, a good linebacker. Alexander Johnson had 12 tackles for Denver to lead the team last week. And they got some guys who kind of remind me, at least in terms of their style and use of play, Bradley Chubb and Jeremiah Tachu, that reminds me a bit of Bud Dupree and TJ Watt. Again, not to that exact talent level, though Chubb has the ability to be a star, but Chubb has that 270-pound big body type like Bud Dupree, and Tachi's about 252, another bigger guy, not as big as Chubb, kind of similar built wise to TJ Watt. So again, not the same talent level, but they're two physical guys who can set the edge against the run. Secondary is a concern, especially at cornerback for Denver. They got a couple injuries. AJ Boye's up and put on IR with, I believe, a shoulder injury, but either way, he is out, unavailable for Sunday's game. They got a couple of rookies are starting there. They do have some good safety play with Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons. They'll rotate Simmons down. He'll try to rob crossers, and he's always a threat, a really good athlete and a good football IQ. But I think Juju against guys like Asang Basie, their slot corner, and the other rookie corner they have out of Iowa, I think Deontay Johnson can take advantage of that matchup. So I think the pass game, getting some one-on-one matchups against man coverage will be the key to beating Denver. Running the ball may be a little bit more difficult. Still possible, but maybe a little more difficult, especially with some of the injuries up front for the Steelers offensive line. But I think you can't attack the Broncos in the secondary. And finally, one last important point I do want to pass along to you guys. I'll put up the clip right now. In 2018, the Broncos did block a field goal against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was Justin Simmons leaping over center, basically, to block that one. And ended up being a pretty big moment in the game. And they blocked the field goal last week, Denver did, against Tennessee. And they're doing this tactic like they did in that clip I'm showing against Pittsburgh in 2018, where they will hold down the front line, the protect team on the field goal unit, and allow someone else to leap over the top. And there's a debate about how legal that is. I don't know the exact ruling, but they're not getting called for it. So be careful of that. No, it's a small, underrated thing, but we saw it in 2018. They blocked the field goal last week. They're still employing some of those tactics, and let's just hope the Steelers do not have another blocked field goal on Sunday. So for my prediction, I have the Steelers winning this one 30-17. I think the big key for this one will be the Steelers offensive line and just some of the newness there. Rookie Kevin Dotson making his first start at right guard for David DeCastro and Stephen Wisniewski. I think honestly, Dotson will actually be an upgrade in the run game over Wisniewski, who really struggled last week. The Steelers work best when their guards are bigger guys like Ramon Foster and Matt Filer and David DeCastro. And Wisniewski just didn't really fit that because he's a center guard type of guy. And Kevin Dotson's more of a straight guard. But just seeing how the line works as a collective, handling stunts and blitzes and staying on the same level and passing things off and the timing of combo blocks and things like that will be the concern and definitely the thing to watch here. Also, right tackle Chukwuma McCore for making his third career start, second against Denver, funny enough, in place of Zach Banner, who's on season-ending IR coming off that torn ACL. But that'll be the big thing. But overall, the Steelers defense, I think they're going to continue to play well, contain Melvin Gordon, shut down this run game, and then get pressure on the quarterback. And for the offense, Ben looking sharp last week against that beat up Broncos secondary, especially in the cornerback position. I think Juju, James Washington, Deontay are going to eat this week. So overall, just too much talent for Pittsburgh, I think, on this side of things. So if they can play clean, not have any special teams blunders, clean up the mistakes they made last week, and just have that offensive line work together better as a unit, I think the Steelers win this one and go 2-0. So that is my prediction and analysis for this upcoming game. We'll be back after the game with a recap of what happened Sunday against Denver. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know who you think will win this one, Denver or Pittsburgh. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.